What is up, guys? My name is Lily, and today I'm going to be talking about my favorite character in all of Total Drama, Courtney. Now, Courtney's a very polarizing character. I've seen a lot of people who have her up there as one of their favorites, myself included, and then on the opposite end of the spectrum, you've got those people who really hate her. I've been thinking about it for a little bit, and I feel like a lot of that hate stems from three different reasons. One would be her characterization and her relationship with Duncan in action when compared to Island. Another would be just her part in the love triangle in World Tour. And the third part would be, well, primarily just everything that happened in All Stars with her, but it all culminates in Sunday Muddy Sunday. So, All Stars, that encompasses just her character in that season, the, Sunday Muddy Sunday, and then Courtney. So, starting with action, and I guess we would start with Island just to say that, a lot of people liked her in Island and liked her relationship with Duncan, and most people didn't really have a problem with her because while she does have some, negative traits that you'll see throughout the series here, such as, she's sort of controlling, she's a stickler for rules, goody two-shoes there, and, you'll have her, bossing around her team. She's also got some positive, traits and character interactions and relationships to balance that out, like her friendship with Bridget, her relationship with Duncan, which is really nice in Island. It's why so many people enjoy, Total Drama Island Dunkney as opposed to Total Drama Action Dunkney. And then, she's got, it's in her character bio, she loves rules, but she also understands that to get far in life and to succeed, you need to break them when necessary. And her relationship with Duncan, which is a huge part of her character in the first season, brings out a little more of that rule-breaking side, and it really fleshes her out as a character. And, she helps Duncan be, a little softer and less of, this bad boy persona he's got. And Season 1 Dunkney is actually pretty good. I mean, I like Season 1 Dunkney. They bring out the best in each other, they complement each other, and that's a healthy relationship. And that's why a lot of people really enjoy Season 1 Dunkney. And then similarly, her character is this sort of balance of negative traits, or what would be perceived as negative traits, and positive ones, so that, she's a real character, she's a balanced character. And then you get to action, and the positive aspects, the complementing aspects of her and Duncan's relationship, which, again, huge part of her character and her time on screen, they've sort of been thrown out the window in exchange for the clashing aspects, where you'll have Courtney's controlling nature has been escalated, her drive to win has been escalated, and I can sort of see why they would do that, due to her unfair elimination from Season 1, she'll want to come back with a vengeance, but at the cost of her relationship with Duncan, that's kind of sucks. And then you'll have Duncan, he's sort of, he values his freedom and his individuality there, and just, you've got the list of that Courtney made, and you've got her, physically hurting him, and that's just, that Season 2 Dunkney, Total Drama Action Dunkney, that is a toxic relationship. And I feel like you'll find a lot of kids, they really like Duncan. I mean, a lot of kids really like that bad boy character, even if he is, a douche canoe. And I mean, I did. I'm no exception. I have this sort of nostalgic love for Duncan, for some reason, in my heart. But, I mean, I love Courtney more. But, so, you'll have a lot of kids who are going to be, resentful of Courtney because she is, being, not healthy to Duncan and hurting him, and that's not cool. And even I, as a devout Courtney lover, I can't excuse her like behavior and action. And I feel like a lot of that stems from like they just they ran out of ideas for the Justin. Like nobody even remembers Justin was a villain. So obviously he was not doing a very good job of being a villain if he was that unmemorable. So they needed someone else. They did not have enough ideas to go with Justin. So they brought in Courtney and they're like, "Oh, I guess Courtney's going to be an antagonist now." And so they just escalated her negative traits and sort of threw out her positive traits and her positive interactions, her positive relationships. Like, you don't get to see her interacting with Bridget because, Bridget got kicked off for making out because, they sort of threw that out with Bridget too. They threw out a lot of her development. But anyway, she has all these positive relationships that aren't really shown anymore. They sort of got discarded after Island, and you don't get to see Courtney interacting with pretty much anyone but like Duncan primarily, and that is not a healthy interaction. So you've got that reflecting negatively on Courtney, and then you get to World Tour, and I gotta say, I love World Tour. I know a lot of people do. It's such a good season. The music, even if most of the cast can't sing particularly well, I mean Courtney's got a voice like an angel, and sue me, I really like Heather's voice. So whatever. Heather isn't like an amazing singer, but she's got a good voice. It's like I love Heather. Anyway, World Tour's writing is really good, and it says a lot about the season that one of the most hated aspects of this series is included in it, and yet it's the majority of the fandom's favorite season, because when you can look past the love triangle and still like love the season, that's when it's a really damn good season. The finale was great. Heather's character development was great. I loved Alejandro. There was a lot going on that was just so good, and the music, everything. So like the first half of this season is perfect pretty much in my mind. Not perfect. There are obviously things that could have been improved about like everything, but it's as close to perfect as a total drama season is gonna get. And then you have Duncan come back with his whatever he's doing, and then the love triangle happens. And although Courtney probably did the least bad in that situation in the series, in the season, like, because Gwen was kind of making out with her best friend's boyfriend, Duncan was cheating, and Courtney was justifiably mad. Just the fact that she's linked to that, and she was sort of, the whole love triangle was like a screen hog for the next half of the season, and they had to include this love triangle in World Tour because otherwise it would be too powerful, and it's such a good season. And I kind of hate that it's like soured with the love triangle, and that kind of messes with a lot of the characters. Like nobody really can love Courtney, Gwen, or Duncan and then like disregard the love triangle, because that happened and it kind of sucks. Because I like all three of those characters and kind of hate that they were all included in this love triangle. And then you get to All Stars and they just keep running with the dumb, idiotic love triangle. And I saw a post somewhere, I'll put it up on the screen so they can get credit, or if it's a video, I don't really remember, I'll find it and I'll put it up, I'll put a link. Anyway, so, you have Duncan and you have Gwen, and they seem to be pretty dang happy with each other and not really care about Courtney. And then you come to this new season and you've got Duncan suddenly caring about Courtney and wanting to be with Courtney again, and you've got Gwen, like, groveling at Courtney's feet, like, begging her. Like, Gwen's sort of whole character was that she's, she doesn't really care what people think of her, and maybe it's different because Courtney was her friend and stuff, but she didn't seem to care before that. She was making out with Duncan, like, on the deck of the boat at the beginning of Revenge of the Island. Like, so anyway, just, don't get me started on All Stars. The character, like, they ruined so many characters that season, and Sam was there for some reason. Like, okay, whatever. We're just gonna, and then we're gonna ignore that. But getting to Sunday Muddy Sunday, you've got this list, and while I don't necessarily believe it's out of character for her to make a list, I do believe that it's out of character for her to keep the list somewhere where someone would find it. She's not an idiot. She's Courtney. Jesus. And, the stupid drawings, like, what's the point of drawing devil horns? What's the point of drawing a rat tail? Like, Courtney, girl, what are you doing? Anyway, it just, and then there's Courtney, and that's just not a good ship. I love Scott, again, in spite of his entire being. It's the nostalgia thing. And I love Courtney, obviously, but they don't go well together. It's a forced ship, and I would prefer that they did not exist together. Just my 2 cents, man. But yeah, so there's a lot of negative aspects of the series that are linked to Courtney, and then they just also totally messed up her character by taking out, the good aspects of her, the good relationships, the good aspects of her relationship with Duncan. It's just she became more of a caricature as the series went on, and I really hate, gag characters like Leonard. Why was Leonard a real character? We don't need this idiotic Leonard, whatever. We don't need him. But anyway, the more caricaturized the characters become, the less compelling they are and the less likable they are. And I get that it's a parody and they're supposed to be caricatures, but they did well in season 1 with pretty much all of the characters. Even the ones who got minimal development and seemed like, gag characters, they had the potential to be interesting. And then you get to later seasons, and not only do you have fewer and fewer actual interesting characters with personalities that people find interesting, but you have the returning characters losing more and more of their, character, and they become more, caricaturized. God, I'm saying character and caricature very often, and I apologize. That's giving me a headache. But anyway, yeah. And I get that a lot of the stuff they did was to keep up the drama, and I mean, it's total drama. That's the thing they do. But the drama that we were given was not interesting, and if it wasn't satisfying. And I guess they had no real way of knowing what would be popular with fans before they put it out there. But drama for the sake of drama that isn't satisfying is just, it's not a good story. You want to feel, like you've gotten somewhere after you've watched this series. And I guess they weren't planning for it to end, but like suddenly, and we're probably never getting another season again, so I guess bye, Courtney, we're done with you after All Stars. Sorry that was how you had to go out. But you know what I mean, right? Like, it's just they did not handle her character well throughout the series. They made her less and less likable. They gave her fewer and fewer meaningful relationships, and they just made it so hard to like Courtney. So what would I change about Courtney? Well, for one, if we wanted to make Gwunkin a thing, well, what I would do was not have them get together by cheating, and I wouldn't have the relationship in season 2 between Courtney and Duncan be super toxic, and I wouldn't take out all of their, positive aspects. They could have a fight, that would be cool, because obviously we're not going to get like a nice amicable breakup between these two. They're too hot-headed, I guess. But, and that would make for good drama, but like, have them fight and break up without dragging it out into something horrible. And, no cheating, please. I feel like Gwonkin would have been so much better if there was no cheating going on to get them together. And I do really like them as bros, but okay. And then All Stars, I would just completely rewrite All Stars. There wouldn't even be the same characters there. Like, barely any of those people were actual All Stars. I mean, Lightning, Joe, and Heather, Alejandro, Courtney, those are All Stars. Lindsay's an All Star in my heart. She deserved to win action. Anyway, I'm rambling. What I mean to say, Courtney's problem is they just made her less and less likable throughout the series, and apparently they just don't care about Courtney. The writers do not like Courtney, and that's the problem with Courtney. Have a great day, and make sure to like and subscribe for more Total Drama videos. If this gets to... Actually, I'm not going to hold you guys hostage for likes. Just like the video if you liked it. And if you didn't, don't feel obligated, man. I'm going to try and put out some new Total Drama videos pretty soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.